Everybody's interested in Salvador Dalí, so it's a no-brainer for us to bring the graphic art of one of the world's most famous artists here to Colombia to experience it for themselves. We worked directly with the Dali Museum in Florida to bring 3 complete sets of illustrations of 3 very famous works. One, Cervantes' Don Quixote, Hans Christian Andersen's Fairy Tales, and Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. They're all 3 here. Dali was a natural to illustrate Cervantes, for example. Not only was Cervantes a fellow Spaniard, but the novel Don Quixote is about somebody who's a little delusional, right? And we're fascinated with delusional people, are we not? And in the book, if you've never read Don Quixote, he does things like joust with windmills. He thinks windmills are, another knight. And he thinks that his old mule is this tremendous steed that he's riding. And nothing is what it seems in Don Quixote. So here's Dali. He's a perfect character to take these fanciful, romantic delusions and give us an image for those. But once Dali got into it, he discovered this is a great realm for me to experiment. What would Don Quixote look like? And you come to this exhibition, and what Dali does is he makes Don Quixote just into a swirl of line. No face, no real body, just energy moving in circles and going nowhere. It wound up becoming one of the most popular images of the exhibition of the original illustrated book. And you'll see that imagination again on display throughout every chapter of Don Quixote. One of the things that Dali did when he decided to undertake the illustrations for Don Quixote was to bring experimentation to it the way he brought experimentation to all of his other works in his career, including film. And instead of just drawing on a lithographic stone, which is a real big, heavy piece of limestone that you ink and then you print, these are original prints, they're not photo reproductions. He thought, well, I'm going to do some different things. And he would actually throw lithographic ink at a stone and have it splatter. And then, as if that weren't enough, he took a gun, an actual gun, and shot the lithographic stone. He would shoot at it. And you see these little holes where the black ink is, and then these little white chips out of it. Many of the greatest artists have been illustrators. And it allows you the opportunity to stretch your imagination, but also to give a visual formula or a visual narrative to something that previously wasn't visual. Being a museum in the same town with a major university is a lucky thing, because a major university, like the University of South Carolina, has all kinds of wonderful amenities.
The Irvin department is home to about 200,000 rare books, manuscripts, ephemera, and realia, and about 40 different archival collections. Will South approached me and the department, the Irvin department, to collaborate with them on the Dali exhibit. Will's idea was that since this exhibit is of Dali's illustrations of sort of classic literature, there would be a good chance that we would have illustrated editions from the 19th century in our rare books holdings, and of course we did. Really, rather than focus on the rarity of these volumes, I tried focusing on interesting examples of illustration from the period, whether those were examples of, say, illustrations that had been colorized by owners of the books, or sort of seminal and important illustrators of a particular subject, so Alice in Wonderland or Cervantes' Don Quixote, have these sort of classic archetypical illustrations that sort of influence all other illustrators and artists who come after them. And we wanted to sort of show what these sort of 19th century images of these stories were and what Dali was working from. And so these sort of fantastical tales of transformation make for really great art, right? Think like The Ugly Duckling or The Little Mermaid. There are these dreamlike worlds, like you say, but there's also this radical sort of shift that happens to all of these characters. They start as one thing and then they become something else, right? The same thing happens in Alice in Wonderland. Left is right, up is down, and you have characters like the Cheshire Cat and the Caterpillar who are constantly coming in and out of the scenes and transforming the way they exist. So all of these stories really lend themselves to the visual. They're very visual in their nature. You're supposed to imagine these worlds because they are unworldly. They are some sort of unreal sort of realm that we sort of have to visualize, and so they lend themselves to interpretation by artists and illustrators, absolutely.
We all love Salvador Dalí, but the question is why? You know, we continue to look at him in the same way that we continue to look at Picasso, in the same way we continue to look at Matisse. And yet Dalí is a very different kind of artist. Instead of abstracting things, he takes things that are ostensibly real, and that's our dreams. Our dreams are real to us. They're our emotional life. They're what we had last night. We tell people about them. The question is, how do you paint a dream? That's not an easy feat. So Dali mixed academicism, that is realistic painting, with a methodology that said, here's what dreams look like. And we are all fascinated with both of those things, and no one put it together quite like he did. If you want to understand the essential Dali, look at these prints. His imagination is on view, his skill is on view, and you can rediscover for yourself why it is we remain interested in this great artist.